Hey, this is David with PrepperBookshelf.com, and I've got a recipe book today, Country Beans by Rita Bingham, and it talks all about different ways of cooking beans. Now, if you're a prepper, especially if you're like me and follow the, the LDS year supply model, where you store a lot of beans, a lot of wheat, a lot of dried milk, salt, and once you get a year supply of the staples, then you start, looking at things to make it taste good. Well, this book goes into detail about how to make beans user-friendly, okay? You don't have to necessarily, soak your beans and have a pot of beans. This book is where I got the recipe that I used on tngun.com, to make the tofu. This talks about making, a bean, cooked, dehydrated ground bean powder, so that you can make gravy in minutes, or make refried beans in minutes instead of hours. Talks about making tofu, talks about making soy milk, bean curd, different types of toppings, different types of seasonings, all sorts of different recipes, soups, hamburgers or bean burgers, all sorts of stir fry and puddings and pies and cakes, which is something that you don't really see very often with beans. And this is great as a recipe book, but it's awesome for some of the other things you can do for beans. Why should you store beans? Talks about making complete proteins, talks about fiber, nutrition, how to grind beans, how to sprout beans, which beans you can sprout and which beans you can't, because some beans are toxic to you when you sprout them, and this book talks about it, how to can them, all sorts of things. If you are going to be a prepper and you are going to store beans, this is one of the books that I think that you should get. And if you just want to eat healthy, then it's also, pretty good for that. Available, I guess, on Amazon. Personally, I went down to what is it? Ready Made Resources, I think, down in East Tennessee, and I bought it there for about $15. And one of the few books that if I only could just have a couple, this is one of the recipe books that I would have. So anyway, until next time, you can always catch us online at PrepperBookshelf.com. Thanks.